A new civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs accuses him of sex trafficking.
I told y'all it was only a matter of time before more lawsuits come out. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into yet more legal trouble for the bad boy CEO, Diddy. Diddy, you a bad boy, man. Yes, you are. But first, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, then hit that share button, but most importantly, hit that subscribe button for me. And then hit the notification bell so you know when I post. It's very simple. And as always, I just want to say thank you for tuning in and supporting the It's Culture podcast. I really, really appreciate it. Now, Diddy, right back in the news again. Just a couple of days ago, a bombshell report came out that yet another lawsuit had been filed against Sean Diddy Combs. This time, it came from a young lady named Audrey English. She's a former adult film star. I mean, she did a couple of pornos when she was younger. She kind of got into the business via Jake Steed. He was known for, manipulating young girls, 18 years old, into getting into pornography. It's alleged that he told her that the videos that she was going to be doing were not ever going to see the light of day in the United States, and they would only be sold overseas, and that was completely a lie because she ended up being in booty talks and all those things, the early videos. So it ruined her life, so much so that when she got found out that she had did porn, the family kind of, did away with her. She moved away, and that's how she met Diddy. But it goes a little deep. So we're going to dive into this, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side. Here we go.
A new civil lawsuit claims Sean Diddy Combs repeatedly passed off dancer and adult film actress Adria English to be sexually assaulted by partygoers during events at his New York and Miami houses between 2006 and 2009.
Okay, so y'all got the timeline. 2006, 2009, she was being trafficked by Diddy.
In the suit, English claims Combs forced her to drink copious amounts of alcohol and consume narcotics, groomed her, and then used his power and influence to threaten and intimidate her into participating in his, quote, sex and drug trafficking organization. The complaint follows law enforcement raids of Combs' Florida and California mansions in March as part of a federal investigation being handled by a team that deals with human trafficking.
Okay. So, as y'all see, it's human trafficking. That's why the HSI was there. Now, in this document,
A new civil lawsuit claims Sean Diddy Combs repeatedly passed off dancer and adult film actress Adria English to be sexually assaulted by partygoers during events at his New York and Miami houses between 2006 and 2009. In the suit, English claims Combs forced her to drink copious amounts of alcohol and consume narcotics, groomed her, and then used his power and influence to threaten and intimidate her into participating in his, quote, sex and drug trafficking organization. The complaint follows law enforcement raids of Combs' Florida and California mansions in March as part of a federal investigation being handled by a team that deals with human trafficking. Combs has not been criminally charged.
let's take a look at some of the things that Miss English is alleging. I have the lawsuit, so we're going to pull it up and just take a look real quick. Now, it is graphic. I have to warn you. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's 114 pages. I'll make sure I leave a description, a link to it in my description So you all can download it for yourself and read the thing if you really are interested in reading it. But let's take a look. So you have the Southern District of New York. Now, this is a federal civil case. You see, it's been filed in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. The one who has the highest conviction rate in the entire country. Says Sean Diddy Combs, P. Diddy, Puff, all his names. But then I want you to look at some of the other names that are in this lawsuit. Tamiko Thomas, Jacob the Jeweler, whose real name is Jacob Araboff, Vibe Magazine, Penske Media Corporation, John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10, and organizational Doe's 1 through 10. So there are other people who and other organizations that are actually involved in this. Now, if you know anything about law, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I do know when you see John and Jane Doe's, that means that these people may be cooperating with the government and they don't want to give their names up yet. If y'all don't know, there is talks that New York is getting ready to bring a grand jury for possible indictments. So we see the platings in here. Just letting y'all know. It's a trigger warning. It says this document contains highly graphic information and sexual nature, including sexual assault. They gave the trigger warning, so I'm giving it to you, just so you know. It kind of goes through. She kind of names the people again. And it says preliminary. This preliminary statement, she talks about Cassie a little bit, saying, why Cassie filed her lawsuit. And then subsequently, she saw some other things that were going on. And she decided that after, these lawsuits, you see 6, 7, 8 lawsuits against Diddy. Then finally, she's the 10th one. And she decided that she wanted to say something. Now, you do see they're talking about Trey Songz and Chris Brown in this lawsuit as well. They're just saying that they're making the case that Diddy was implicated in a lawsuit that was filed against Chris Brown for sexual assault that happened on a yacht that was anchored at Combs' house in Star Island. And then this other one was that Trey Songz had been involved in a sexual assault lawsuit in Florida, and Combs was named in that one as well. Okay, so we got the little gist of it. So due to all this, she talks about it. Now, in the video that I showed you earlier, they said 2006 to 2009. Well, you see that in the lawsuit, it says specifically from 2004 to 2009. Now, that's important. The reason why that's important is because she's only claiming that Diddy started to do these things for about 3 years. Of the 5 years that she was involved with him in this pay-for-play situation that she was in. All right? And she talks about Vibe Magazine. But we're going to get down to the gist of it here. I'm going to scroll down a little more real quick. And then I want to get to, okay. So they kind of talk about her being, like I said, in the booty talks. But she talks about these white parties. Now we're back on these white parties again. It said, now we're going to go back to this one, okay, because I want y'all to see this. Let's scroll back up. Okay, this is her. And it said that she had consumed copious amounts of alleged lace alcohol prior to being coerced and forcing into having sexual intercourse with defendant Jacob. So in this lawsuit, she's alleging that Jacob the jeweler was someone that she had sex with at the parties. And she's alleging that this was part of what Diddy started to make her do at these parties. She was hired to be a dancer. Now, I told you all she was an adult film star at the beginning, former adult film star. She did some pornos when she was younger, very, very young. Pissed off her family. She basically got excommunicated. She moved to New York, started stripping, and then she got noticed in the strip club. Now, her boyfriend was modeling, trying to do a modeling gig, and this is him, and this is her boyfriend. So he was trying to do the modeling gigs and stuff like that, I think. Is that him? Is that Jacob the Jeweler? I think that's Jacob the Jeweler. I'm sorry. But he would have them do these things, right? He would have them perform these acts at these white parties for the defendants. Now, she's saying that she did some things. She was transported to the Hamptons. So this is why it's in New York, because you knew the Hamptons are in New York. And then she's also saying that she was down in Miami. So she was getting groomed. And that's where the Tamiko Thomas comes in at, because Tamiko Thomas is the alleged handler for Diddy. This person is the alleged handler. So she is picking them up, scheduling all these things. And that's what she said, you know, around the third white party. Like I told you, the first two, 2004, 2005. Let's get to it, right? 2004, 2005. Nothing is going on. She hasn't declared that any wrongdoing was done the first two times. She came there. She was a stripper. She came. She stripped. She did what she had to do. She got paid. She left. Boom. Her boyfriend is another case, because the boyfriend allegedly, this is what's alleged now, that Diddy told him to perform fellatio on him so he could be in the Sean John commercials. And when he refused, they came back and said, okay. You ain't gotta do that. All right, we ain't gonna make you do that. You ain't gotta do that. You'll get the job. You could be in the Sean John commercials and all the spreads because you're a model, but she just gonna have to come to white parties and perform. And that somehow or another, I don't know if the boyfriend convinced his girlfriend to do this to help his career. I don't know. But somebody told somebody to start stripping. All right. Anywho. So after the third white party, that's what she alleged, that Thomas told and them started commanding that she start engaging in vaginal sexual intercourse with guests as they learned about her past in adult entertainment, and usually forced to coerce the plaintiff into sex work for the benefit of Thomas and the co-defendants. Like I said, these white parties, right? So we talk about Jacob the Jeweler, right? Plaintiff is pictured with defendant Jacob. Okay, this is Jacob the Jeweler. Okay. After the assault, as the plaintiff was still in her role at the white party. So she drank a lot of alcohol. It was laced. Somehow or another, she got butt naked, and she ended up having sex with Jacob the Jeweler, and that was in her employment role at the white party. She was there to have sex, right? So she got paid $1,000 additional in cash on top of what she was already paid the first two white parties at the end of the night. Now she alleges in this lawsuit that she was always paid in cash. Now, we already talked about how cash is used because it ain't traceable, right? There's no way to prove that any money moved. And I think that's the reason why you see we going into a cashless society, because I believe that the government has gotten on to the fact that a lot of criminal activity happened with cash in hand. So now they want to do away with that, so now they can track the transactions. They can't, still too much tied up right now. So cash still gets king. That's why they say cash is king, because a lot of dirty work can be done with cash. So at the end of the night, Combs personally congratulated her and said for a job well done with what she did with Jacob the Jeweler. Okay, so she's had sex with Jacob the Jeweler, and then she said that basically, right here, she said defendant Thomas, which is Tamiko Thomas, the handler, right, was to Diddy what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. That is deep. That is deep. That is deep. It said she started to not recall much of what happened at these Miami white parties because she was just so drugged up that she couldn't do anything at these parties. And then this is a outside, there's a Jacob named as a defendant Doe to be sexually assaulted as part of an ongoing sex trafficking organization. Now, Diddy this is bad. And I just kind of skimmed over that for y'all because I think it's more so important that we understand that these are victims and they're providing receipts. Now, we still haven't seen no cash, the receipts of the cash, but we can't really do that right now because obviously, there's some checks and balances getting done here. But as I said in previous video, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think it's done. I believe in my heart of hearts that Diddy is for to go to prison for a very, very, very long time. If he gets convicted. Now, it's a big if. Because, and this is the reason why. This young lady named a couple of entities. She named, the Penske Transportation, Music Entertainment Company. She named Tamiko Thomas. She named Jacob Jula. You saw in some other lawsuits, they named a couple other people. You saw Cuba Gooding Jr. get caught up in something in a lawsuit with Lil Rod. You saw Young Miami's name being thrown around. You saw the young drug mule get caught up in something. RICO statute at the federal level is very, very easy to, it's a mob rule. And I said that about the Young Thug case. This is a mob rule, right? It's not a law, right? It's a statute. Well, I guess it's a statute is the law, but it's not a actual, you can't be convicted of RICO, right? You don't, what I'm saying? It's a statute. It's a lot of things that have to happen. So this is racketeering, in a criminal organization. You know what I'm saying? Racketeering is about money. Transactions being done. So they're alleging that Diddy used Sean John, PMC, and Bad Boy. Those are the organizations. He utilized those organizations to run a sex trafficking and drug trafficking organization. That is what is being alleged now. That he had an ongoing sex trafficking organization fueled with illicit narcotics. And he was using his status to manipulate and coerce women into sex servitude for fear of retaliation and retribution. Now, that's for this lawsuit. He's also being alleged for that in a few other lawsuits. And then we have all the things that Lil Rod is alleging. The reason why I don't think that Diddy has been arrested yet, because I don't think it's like Epstein, right? We still don't know who was on the Epstein list. Who is the government hiding, right? That should be really what it is. I mean, Epstein had to traffic them to somebody, right? But we didn't get a chance to find out who that was because as soon as Epstein went in prison, he died instantly. Miraculously, he killed himself, right? I think this is the same thing with Diddy. I think that this is so damning, right, that it's a lot of people that's tied up in this. And a lot of people that got power and influence are tied up in this. And something is happening because the Southern District of New York, and like I said, the rumors are that they are getting ready to convene a grand jury. If they convene a grand jury, they are going to indict him for using the RICO. And if y'all don't know, the Southern District of New York has the highest conviction rate of any federal courtroom. I mean, you go to the Southern District of New York, especially with RICO, because they are the masters of it. This is bad. I just want y'all to think about that. Think about this young woman. You know, broke, I guess. I don't know how she even got into the adult film industry. That doesn't even matter to me. The fact of the matter is that she signed up for one thing thinking she was trying to help somebody else out, and this is just becoming a death spiral. I think in the lawsuit, if you all read it, she talks about, you know, getting hooked on drugs afterwards because she was so drugged out at these parties. And, you know, I haven't been in that situation before. I've never been in a situation where people force me to do anything, but I can only imagine, right? Celebrities have a way to manipulate young people because you're caught up in the celebrity. And, you know, to be in that space and think that you're about to get put on and you're making all this money and it's going to change your life and everything, because everything's centered around money. And if you can use money to do evil things, that's where the power comes in at. Because now you know you can influence somebody. How much money would it take for you to suck a peen? You know? I mean, he tried the boyfriend with the, hey, you can come model. You just got to get on your knees, though. Really? I mean, and we've heard it. I mean, some of y'all have heard that joke. What would you do? You know, would you, suck a peen for $1 million? That's a real question, because there's some people out there that would say, hell yeah, they'll do it. But I'm not talking about women. You know, so I'm talking about men. Like, do you know how, if you're a heterosexual male and another guy who you think is hetero, but he turned out to be some strong bisexual dude that has a lot of power and influence, and he sits up there and he tells you straight up, hey, I can make you a career, but you're going to have to do something. And it's blackmail. And then, you know, there's cameras everywhere, they filming this stuff, and now he has a video of you on your knees with his in your mouth. Come on. For the rest of your life, you at this man's beck and call, because at any given time, this video can get released through some media outlet that he got rubbed elbows with. TMZ exclusive footage of such and such, and your whole life ruined. You know what I'm saying? Your whole life ruined. She spiraled out of control. This young lady spiraled out of control. Drugs, can't keep a relationship, trauma for the rest of life, PTSD, anxiety, depression, you name it. You name it. Death spiral. And she was young, guys. Young. And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They say maybe when she was 18, 19. Come on, man. The sheer amount of power and influence a grown man has with that money, that cachet, that bravado against a young girl like this. I don't care if she was 20. Easily be manipulated with money and power. Think about the people that she was having sex with. Jacob the jeweler. Jacob the jeweler, you know what I'm saying, who got caught up in another case, or another racketeering case for money laundering. That Jacob the jeweler. So, y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. Y'all think it's going to be some more lawsuits? And also, when y'all think Diddy's going to get indicted? I think it's going to be before the end of the year, but we'll see. And if another lawsuit comes out, I don't report on all of them because I just don't, it gets kind of redundant, and I'll just be doing the same content videos over and over and over again. So if another one comes out, I probably won't do a video about it. I'll probably wait until something really, really breaks in the case before I do another video, because, I don't want to just be beating a dead horse. I mean, we see what's going on here. They're constantly coming out. But I just thought this one was interesting, considering that it's some new names that I hadn't seen in any other lawsuits. And to hear this story about this young woman kind of really got to me. So, Prayers up to this young woman. I don't know how old she is now. I didn't really look at to see how old she was when this all happened. But prayers up to you, sis. Please get the help that you need to help you heal, emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, whatever it is. Get the help that you need. There's a lot of support out there for you. So, don't suffer in silence. That's all I got to say about that. So until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.